How successful people handle difficult times which others don't know about. Regardless of who you are, ugly things happen all the time. The loss of loved ones, the loss of jobs or good relationships, sickness, debt, poverty, and others. However, Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Depending on how you react to it, difficult times can crush you or make you stronger. The difference between people who become successful and the rest of the world is simply how people who become successful handle difficult times. In this video, I'll be sharing with you 8 ways I handle difficult times, which I believe is how every successful person handles difficult times. And I hope some of these tips help you to become a better and stronger person. If you're new here, consider subscribing so you won't miss other interesting videos like this. Number 1. Don't blame anyone for your situation. My father's genotype is AS and my mother's genotype too is AS. So I was born with genotype SC, which made my first 17 years a little difficult than hell because I suffered grade 1 rheumatism about twice every month, each lasting about 5 days. After I understood that my parents were the reason for my pains, I hated my father. However, at a point in my life, I decided to decide whether I wanted to remain in my past or face my future. I decided to face my future. Listen, the first thing most people do when they encounter any difficulty is to look for who to blame. Because we are humans with a powerful brain, it's often easy to see whatever we look for. So if you look for someone to blame in any given situation, you'll always find one. Successful people don't point fingers at others. Instead, they focus on getting power to get out of their predicament. If you blame others for your situation, you lose power to get out of it. The reason for this is because when people blame others for what they are going through, what they are saying is, "It's not my fault. Mr. X should do something about it." Number 2. Focus on the future. After spending more than 5 years in the business world without any success, everyone around me had considered me a failure, and it was a tough time to cope with, especially when I had to sometimes beg people who didn't believe in me to give me some money to eat. However, almost every night, I would close my eyes and imagine my future. I would see myself in a future where I make more money than everyone. I would imagine a future where people who mocked me then would call me for money. I would imagine my future where I could buy the best cars and homes. When I woke up the next morning, despite the toughness of my situation, I would put on a bigger smile than most people. Listen, no matter what you're going through right now, if you can close your eyes and imagine a better future, you'll be cheerful and have a stronger spirit to fight through your situation. Number 3. Remember other people have problems too. When successful people encounter problems, they remind themselves that other people have problems too. You see, we're all selfish beings who live only in our selfish worlds. So whatever happens to us usually blocks our view of the world. Take for instance, it's hard to understand or even believe that millions of people all over the world are living below $1 per day if you can spend $100 every day. The same thing happens when you have some difficulties. It's just too hard for you to see that everyone has some levels of problems too. Get me right. Knowing that other people have problems will not take your problems away, but it will give you the ability to have the right perspective, because most of the times it's not about what happens to us, but how we react to what happens to us. Take for instance, someone who lost his job could consider that to be the worst thing that can happen to anyone in the world. But if he reminds himself that many people of his age are in prison for offenses they know nothing about, he's likely to have the right perspective. Someone who lost his 4-year-old child will definitely consider that to be the worst thing that can happen to anyone. But if she gets to know about the entire family who died in a motor accident, she is likely to take heart and be optimistic about life all over again. If you want to have the right perspective about your problem, remember other people have bigger problems. Number 4. Hang around positive people. At a point in my life, I had to partially disown everyone in my family except my mother. The reason is because they are negative people who couldn't ignite my spirit to face tough times I was in. I instead carefully chose positive friends who believed in me and are willing to support me emotionally. When successful people encounter difficulties, they try and hang around positive friends who can help them to see beyond the present calamity. It's easy to assume that the end has come when you find yourself in a difficult situation, but if you have positive people around you, one or two of them might have gone through something similar to what you're going through now, and with their experience, they can help you to remain optimistic about the future. Number 5. Move. When successful people have difficulty, they try to do something, take some actions and move. The more time you spend sitting down, the more you pity yourself, cry or exaggerate your problem. Move. Take some actions. Do something. Just get active as much as you can. Number 6. List what you are grateful for. I've been to the hospital where people spend a whole year on the sick bed. Yet, if my business doesn't generate the expected revenue this month, I'll be sad. How stupid is that? I've seen documentaries of people who have spent the last 10, 20, even 30 years in prison. But if I get sick for a week, I'll think I've lost a lot of money by not working on my business. How stupid is that? Because we are humans, it's easier for us to see what we lack so clearly and be blind to what we have. Sit down and make a list of what you're grateful for, and you'll have a greater strength to face your present mountains. Number 7. Appreciate yourself. One day around the year 2012, I lost my business. 1 a.m. the next morning, I woke up and I was praising God. Why? Because I knew the reason why I encountered such problem is because I was greater than most people. If I had been like every of my mates then, I would have been working for a bank or other company and I might never have experienced such headache. Sometimes the reason why you have some problems is because you are a great person who makes great decisions, and your problem is simply a result of your decision, and you should appreciate yourself for that. Don't you think so? Number 8. Remind yourself it's just a night. I recently went through a difficult time. While I didn't know how I would overcome that phase, I told myself, every problem has an expiring date. That's just the truth. Problems are like drugs. They always have expiring date. Robert Schuller wrote, "Tough times never last, but tough people do." Whatever you're going through today will expire one day. If you know this, you can have more power to face your situation with courage and some smiles. Morning always comes after night. In summary, if you want to overcome any difficulty and end up being successful in life, don't blame anyone for your situation. Focus on and imagine the future. Spend time with positive people who can encourage you. Remember, other people have problems too. Take actions, move, don't sit, do something. List what you're grateful for. Appreciate yourself if your problem comes as a result of your right decision. Remind yourself it's just a night. Your problem has an expiring date. You enjoyed this video, didn't you? We'd like to give you another interesting video for you to enjoy next. But before then, our team will be very happy if you can like this video and share it with your friends on social media. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss other interesting videos like this. Look at your screen now to see 2 other videos we unpick for you to enjoy next. We love you.